The last time we spoke, I provided some background information on Virginia's IT infrastructure program and the transformation and consolidation initiative that we started back in 2006. As a result of those efforts, Virginia has come a long way in terms of consolidation and transformation of our infrastructure. We now have a centralized network. We have a common operating environment for our server, storage, and desktop computing platforms. We have mature ITIL processes supported by a centralized service desk. We have a centralized data center with a backup data center that provides disaster recovery and replication for our 63 executive branch agencies. I also mentioned the last time we met that our contract underpinning these services expires in 2019, and Virginia was kicking off an RFI initiative to reach out to the marketplace and ask the question, what is the art of the possible? How is the service delivery methods, how has service delivery changed over the past 10 years since we signed our contract back in 2005? We had 29 vendors respond from various areas of subject matter expertise to that RFI. As a result of the RFI and the work done by our IT infrastructure sourcing strategy team, VITA determined that we should begin to disentangle services now, and that we should structure our service delivery model using a multi-supplier approach with a service integrator selected through a competitive procurement. Earlier this year, VITA began disentangling services from our incumbent service provider. This transition of services will be a multi-year effort consisting of multiple waves of activity for different service areas. Wave 1 will consist of our messaging and IBM mainframe services. We just awarded a contract to Tempus Nova for our messaging services to facilitate transition to Google Mail. And we have an active RFP out for IBM mainframe. Wave 2 will consist of server, storage, security, and the service integrator function that I mentioned. The service integrator function will take on the scope of work currently conducted under our cross-functional services and service desk towers, and the RFPs for Wave 2 will go out later this year. And then finally, Wave 3 will consist of our network and end-user computing services, and we hope to have we will have all of the RFPs and sourcing transitions completed by 2019. Cybersecurity is Virginia's #1 IT priority, and we've been taking active steps to bolster our security program at VITA. I mentioned the IT infrastructure sourcing. That is also a top priority at VITA, and we've been actively and aggressively working the plan that I outlined to transition services. And while we talk about IT infrastructure sourcing, it's important to remember that we've got to continue service stability in current operations. We have just about 3 years or 709 working days left under the existing contract, and that represents about 25% of the overall contract duration. So it is imperative that we continue to focus on service stability and continue to drive optimization into our services under the existing contract. Yeah, I think the consolidation and transformation activities that we've conducted over the past few years have really positioned VITA well as we transition into a multi-sourced supplier model. We've got a really good handle on what is our customers' data, the sensitivity of that data, the applications that use that data, and then the infrastructure that underpins those applications to support that, and the security posture of that infrastructure as well. So from that perspective, I think we are in a good place. As we transition to a multi-supplier service delivery model, it's imperative that security is baked into everything that we do as part of our entire ecosystem. So the way we're addressing that challenge is every RFP that we release has a security component, and we did bring forward our security services RFP into Wave 2 to make sure that we've got our security program in place early and ready as these new suppliers come on board. VITA continues to reach out to the marketplace for innovation for state IT initiatives. I mentioned the RFI that we conducted, where we reached out to the marketplace and asked, what is the art of the possible? How are things being done today, and what's the best practice and the best way to accomplish service delivery? VITA will continue to leverage the marketplace expertise, searching for best-of-breed solutions to our unique agency business requirements. Standing up the IT infrastructure sourcing program was a significant challenge. Ways that we address that particular challenge are reaching out to the marketplace and seeking ideas and best practice for how to establish this program, looking for innovation in that area. We also established with internal resources, we established a program, a sourcing program, with a focus on transition, sourcing, transition, and operations. Day-to-day operations continues to be a significant challenge. I mean, maintaining service stability and service optimization is always a challenge. And especially as we look at transitioning services, one of the ways we've met that challenge is establish key performance indicators across our service areas to monitor for potential service degradation and ensure that services remain stable, identify points of potential optimization in our service delivery space, and continue to drive that performance. I mentioned we still have 3 years on the existing contract. And then, as we look forward to transitioning of services, Virginia has come a long way in terms of IT infrastructure transformation, consolidation. It's imperative that Virginia builds on the success and the lessons learned of the past and uses those successes as a launching pad for continued service optimization in the future.